Greetings. Today, for exception, I will address all of you in English. Usually I speak only in Slovenian for Slovenian public, but this time I like to address two topics. One is about joining us for the Upasaka program. I'll say more about it. And second thing is to answering the question about possibility to teach this Dhamma also in English language. First of all, about Upasaka group. This is an invitation, but let me first cover the background, what it's all about. In life, we are so quite busy with things and projects and earning money and being enslaved by our sensualities. Certain project doesn't need to be a gross sensuality, just occupation, being creator of our life in the world. We have sometimes sleepless nights and concerns and worries. And, sometimes we can't close even our eyes and think, gosh, if I close my eyes, everything will start coming to me and I might get mad, right? So, but then also, the world keep asking attention from us. Look always says, take that, buy this, do that, fulfill your ambitions, grow in something greater and conquer the world. It's all about, engaging with the world. And it's endless, isn't it? So that's what is happening in the world. And sometimes we go with it and sooner or later we realize we completely lose control. We just enter in the stream of the sensuality and the stream of the world. And when we want to stop it, we're already into the flow of it and it's too late. Also, when I was reading some suttas, I realized that Buddha did emphasize that, virtue is necessary thing. Virtue is good for oneself, for myself, and for others. It's not just a virtue for the sake of, going to heavenly realm. Sometimes in our cultures, virtue is taken as something, required by God and you have to obey. But virtue is something very important and personal. Doing unwholesome things will result in wholesome results. So basically, there will be consequences. The same practicing in a wholesome way, they're going to be wholesome results. So then that's why in our practice it's important to keep purifying our virtue. If we cannot purify our virtue, then where do we go? We go into the non-wholesome state, unwholesome results follow in this lifetime and also the next. Just imagine when you create just like the world when you are lying or stealing or deceiving. That's the world for you. You create the world of lies. Also, when you look in the world in very negative way or everything is very dark for you, that's the world you created. Everything you just start seeing in darkness. Everything you also start suspecting that all others are doing the same things that you do. So, when you realize that you can't really trust yourself, then it really is a question why you should trust others. And then it's a real question why others should trust you. And it's a painful place to be. And you don't want to be there, really. And another thing is, people always practice meditation as something what they call a Buddhist thing to do. And they go immediately to do some sittings and not really realizing that the first step before actually we sit and do anything what we call Buddhist, it's actually purifying the virtue. Did it happen ever to you that you were sitting in meditation and you just didn't go into kind of calm and peace, that you were more maybe disturbed, that maybe you felt dark and tense and you didn't know what to do and what's wrong, and you were forcing how to calm, you were doing some techniques, methods, but really bottom line is that the virtue was not purified. We didn't do enough of good deeds. We didn't do enough of meritorious deeds like kindness, generosity, and virtuous behavior. And then when we do virtuous behavior and we remember them, we recollect those behaviors, how do we feel? Well, I can say for myself that I feel very happy, very delighted when I'm thinking of good things and what I've done, that I can think of the virtue, that basically I didn't do anything wrong. And I'm able to open my mind, broaden my mind, without being afraid that there is going to be some strange consequences of some my past actions, or just my attitude, just embarrassment to look into my mind. But when my mind is clean and clear, and remembering it's clean and clear, and also knowing I don't have to run to anything, to go away from the dark side of my mind, then I feel joyful, then I feel happy. So just in that state, the virtue is already quite developed. It's clean and brightens the mind, brightens the heart, and there is already present all these qualities the Buddha was telling us to develop. There is mindfulness, there is composure, samadhi. It's already present. We didn't have to meditate hours and hours to achieve that peace. We were actually already training by purifying our action, purifying our physical actions, purifying speech, and also the mind. We go to that direction as well when we realize when we realize that maybe my mind is not anymore affected by some greed and hatred and cruelty, but is at peace. So all that really helps meditation. And Buddha was encouraging also, that was fundamental thing, that was like a must thing to keep 5 precepts. It is not just something, commandments for Buddhists. 5 precepts are necessary things for human in general. If human really wants to be human, then, well, he will have to keep at least 5 precepts. This is not special high virtue, it's just the bottom line. So this means no killing, no stealing, not doing any sexual misconduct in the sense that we don't hurt ourselves and others with it. Then we don't do any wrong speech, which includes lying, gossiping, cruel speech, pointless talk. And also, 5th one is also very important. Don't drink alcohol and taking any drugs which leads to carelessness. That's something, how to say, if you don't have these 5 precepts, you're not really human. You start killing or sexual misconduct and so on. Basically, you're becoming like a ghost, like an animal. And drinking alcohol, well, you took all your responsibility away and start being careless and do many other mistakes. Speech, particularly, starts with speech, hurting others, and so on. But then also the Buddha said and encouraged to keep upasatas. Upasatas, usually traditionally is happening on the moon days, full moon, new moon, and also in half moons. And these moon days, we call also observance day. Practitioners keep 8 precepts. So basically they're the same as 5 precepts, apart that this the middle one, sexual misconduct, actually encourage complete celibacy. So not to restrain ourselves in any sexual way. And then an additional is the 6th one, that we refrain from eating the wrong times. So basically that we eat only in morning times between dawn and midday. Second thing is that we restrain ourselves from doing some beautifications on the body, but also listening music and any other entertainments. So basically some kind of sense restraint. And the 8th one, it's about, well, literally translated is about sleeping in the high luxurious beds. But also I would say here that, minimizing sleep, not indulging in sleep. When it's time to wake up, you wake up, not actually keep rolling like a pig in the bed, right? And there is one interesting sutta I like to read. The Buddha was encouraging to keep 8 precepts at least once a week. Well, at least once a week. So we are quite, like people are quite engaged with sensuality and so on, but let's keep one day a week when we are step back. Most of the days we keep being pulled by things and getting new things and getting amused by things and start desiring things. But once a week we step back. So we give extra restraint particularly to, extra things like listening music and TV and entertainment, or even just turning off internet. Even news and entertainment nowadays. We turn off. And also minimizing eating. It's just enough to eat in the morning time. You have a breakfast, you have lunch, and that's it. Once a week special fasting. So it's like a Sabbath, as you know, in Jewish religion, or like your Sunday in Christian tradition. And once the Buddha, on one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling among the Sakyans. Then on that Upasaka day, a number of Sakyans, lay followers, approached the Blessed One, paid homage to him, and sat down to one side. The Blessed One then said to them, Sakyans, do you observe the Uposatha complete in 8 factors? And one of them said, sometimes we do, Bhante, and sometimes we don't. The Buddha looked. Why do you mean? Sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't. And he said, it is misfortune and loss, Sakyans, when life is endangered by sorrow and death. You observe the Uposatha complete in 8 factors only sometimes, and sometimes you don't. He said, that's dangerous. And he encouraged, no, be serious, to keep 8 precepts at least once a week. So that become an emphasis, which I realized, gosh, we don't really talk very much about it. I don't know any teacher that would say and encourage disciples, hey guys, keep 8 precepts every week. I know today we can't really practice exactly on the moon days because life is different in the West. We don't have free days on moon days, maybe in Sri Lanka. But we might have a Sunday as a free day. So we take, for example, Sunday as our observance day, or our Sabbath, or our Uposatha. And we say, okay, every Sunday I will never watch TV, I will never listen to music or entertainment, I will do some special fasting, just to allow myself to build the strength of my mind and be able to say no to sensuality, no to those kind of engagements and projects and so on, and just actually, step back and look into ourselves, into our heart, and try to purify it. So that's actually very, very important. And Buddha was saying, the one who dwells heedful, ardent, and resolute for 10 years, or at least for a day, then he might actually become an Arya, an awakened one. If you're practicing the Buddha teaching, then I assume you want to work for the higher goal, that you want to realize the truth. But you cannot realize the truth with a weak mind. You can realize the truth only with a very strong mind, with liberated mind. And how be having mind strong if it keeps bowing down to those sensualities? So let's say call these defilements as a Mara. Mara can be, or we call demons, or whatever we want to call it. Sure, we can take it as psychological things, or really as a kind of being that possesses you. Nevertheless, in both cases, we're dealing with the Mara in the same way. We don't allow that Mara has power over us, but we build the strength that we are so strong, the Mara actually is nothing to us. But if our mind is weak, And immediately when Mara suggests certain sensual pleasures or some kind of arrogant attitude or pride, and then if we immediately bow to it, then what happens? We are slave of the Mara. Don't think the Mara is an evil one, like demonic looking ugly creature. Mara is actually a very beautiful gentleman. He only thinks the best for you. He wants to, he would say, oh, relax, go to sleep a little bit longer. That's a Mara's job. And Mara would say, eat a little bit more, you might not get such a good food tomorrow. Enjoy, or listen to some music. Very beautiful, it's very innocent. Look at that woman, she's very beautiful. So what's wrong with looking at into another woman or man? So that's a Mara's job. That's what a Mara does. So, but when we bow to Mara and follow his advices, then Mara has under his control, because we become weak. We just go with the stream of sensuality, and once we are in this stream for so long, then we forgot how to swim against the current. We become loose because we are naive and we just like to relax. But then, like any river goes into big river in oceans. So what we're going to do then? We are weak. We don't have muscles. For a long time we were indulging in sensuality, and now we are in danger, we are panicking. But then it's already a bit too late, isn't it? So when I was reading these suttas and seeing what's going on in the world, I realized there needs to be an encouragement that everybody keeps 5 precepts and once a week 8 precepts. That was the seed of this program we call Upasaka Program. Upasaka means the one who sits close by. And it's a special program when, as the community of lay people, make determination that they will keep 5 precepts in their daily life, particularly, about also restraining alcohol. Especially, they have to be careful more with the speech. I assume the other precepts are pretty easy. And then they also decide and make determination that at least once a week they decide which day is the most suitable for them. Though I would like to encourage to keep on the Mondays. So they keep also 8 precepts. This means special restraint, so special restraint of the senses and eating and also sleeping. And that's how this program. This is the main purpose of the program, communal encouragement. And then they also encourage and they are led about how to gradually approach the Buddha's teaching. So starting with emphasizing, encouraging how to strengthen the mind, how to strengthen the virtue. So it's like strengthening and training the mind. It's like some kind of boot camp for the mind. And we encourage each other. And also they have to come pretty much at least once a month, or sometimes I know it's not possible, once a month to the monastery. When we teach, we available, there can be practice generosity, and also to be able to talk with the monks. So this is how it started already 3 years ago. So we had first one was for 2018, right? That was a small group. And then 2019, we had a little bit bigger group. 2020, we didn't have because of this coronavirus thing. So now is the 3rd year that we are going to organize these Uposatha practices and start this Upasaka program. So you're encouraged to come, because this year is also, we try to do also in English. In previous 2 years, we were doing only in Slovenian language. But, let's not limit the Dhamma only to Slovenians, but also anyone who actually is living in Slovenia or Croatia, because people also from Croatia are coming here, and to be part of this program. That's my encouragement. I really, really, really like to encourage to follow that program. If you cannot join Samanadipa for this kind of discipline, then try to really take seriously what I'm saying about virtue and keeping 5 precepts and at least once a week 8 precepts. I really want to encourage that one, because this is welfare for yourself and welfare for others, and you purify your mind to the degree that you will feel free and happy. That is going to benefit you much more than any meditation or any program or any visualization or any whatever you think that the Buddha was saying. Virtue is actually path to happiness. And it's interesting, also when I started with Buddhism, I didn't want to read or think very much about virtue. I want to do the real thing. I didn't want to do what you used to take it as a kind of kindergarten practice. I wanted to do the real thing, like PhD level, which means meditation, special experiences, absorptions, as I was thinking at the time. It does not help any kinds of meditation progress if there is no purified virtue. So that is what I'm going to encourage. Purify your virtue, and really, believe me, you will be much more happier. And with your happiness, you're going to radiate also externally, because people will notice that one. This positivity, this honesty, because people who are fakely honest, we can recognize, we can know something is not quite right there. Fake smiles and fake integrity, but inside is some kind of darkness. We can't fake it. It's impossible. And also, but when one is happy and genuinely pure in virtue, people notice that one. You don't have to make a show about it. You don't have to talk about it. People want to be around you, and people actually enjoy, and they need something which is transparent, honest, light, beautiful, shiny. I don't know which word to use it to really emphasize how it really feels. And so, yes, and more good friends, not bad friends, and that's kind of wonderful, isn't it? And the second thing is about the question about teaching that I teach in English. I did not do that very much, maybe one or two videos. Reasons for that one? Well, I wanted just to be focused on these local people. So that's Slovenians. And that's my idea, just to teach in the smaller scale, and just help these local people, just like that's kind of that territory that I feel it's where I can take some kind of responsibility and help people. And in the world, there are already many other teachings in English, and particularly I like to encourage that you follow the teaching of the Buddha. The Buddha is a teacher. All suttas are translated in many languages, and they are really deep, profound, and very essential teachings for liberation. And I really want to emphasize, do approach the Buddha's teaching. I know it's hard in the beginning. I know it looks like a little bit unattractive in the first sight, but once you start to understand and get familiar with it, it's really the truth. It's really, how to say, those sutta really speaks to the heart, and they're the most personal literature in the most deeper sense. And I don't know how much I see very important that suttas, and I really want to encourage you to do that too. So you have already materials there. Also, Ajahn is very good if you want to read something which is more lively and more personal and more in the way that people can relate better. It's perfect teachings with Ajahn. He will give you a little bit of kicks, a little bit of encouragement, to do the practice. Don't be lazy, and he will toughen up your motivations and really inspire you to practice Dhamma. And Ajahn is really perfect for you to practice, and pretty much good enough to start, really. And also other teachings available. Some people who want to deepen their understanding and really try to develop the right view. There is also teaching from Bhante Nyanamoli of his site in Sri Lanka. And you can also watch his videos and his writings and his transcribed talks. And that's pretty much a lot of material already there. And his teaching you can find on the Hillside website or YouTube, and also I put a link somewhere probably below in the comment that you can also listen if you want. So then it's like, I don't ever felt that I had to say much more. But many times I got the questions, why don't also share in English? So if it's really such a need and necessity and wish, well then also others can let me know. You can write a comment, and you can, I don't know, and then I will see and think about it and see what I can do. That's all for now. If you want to be part for Upasaka program, please write to the monastery. Address is also below, samanadipa@gmail.com. And again, everybody who wants to follow the Buddha teaching in a more serious way and more disciplined way, and being part of this community, please write to me and you can join us. So that's all for now, and all the best to you all. Bye bye.